and better than ever. It's the all-new Sandy Kastel and Friends Show with Sandy Kastel, singer, songwriter, author, and founder of Weeba. She'll be talking with local and international performers, artists, singers, authors, celebrities, and more. Plus, exciting features like Weema, Women and Men in Music and Arts, insights into Las Vegas real estate, and staying fit and fabulous forever. Now, let's bring on the host. Here is Sandy Kastel.
She woke from a dream and started to cry. She turned to the window and watched the cars passing by. A chill ran through her veins. She remembered he is not here. She buried her head in his pillow and fought off her tears. Indiana rain coming down in the middle of the night, put an end to this misery that's burning deep inside. Trapped in their empty home, it's been driving her insane. Indiana rain, won't you wash away her pain? It was a cold and icy day when he said goodbye. In her mind, she could see his face and feel him by her side. Her heart is breaking 'cause he's been gone a year. She's holding on to his memory, but it's time to face her fears. Indiana rain coming down in the middle of the night, put an end to this misery that's burning deep inside. Trapped in their empty home, it's been driving her insane. Indiana rain, won't you wash away her pain? She kneels before the stone that bears his name, says it's time to let you go, but in my heart you'll remain. I promise you we'll be together someday. She took one last look, she turned and she walked away. Indiana rain coming down in the middle of the night, put an end to this misery that's burning deep inside. Trapped in their empty home, it's been driving her insane. Indiana rain, won't you wash away her pain? Indiana rain, won't you wash away her pain?
Well, we brought a little bit of Indiana rain to Las Vegas. I'll tell you, it is wet, wet, wet out there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I've got Andy Martello here with me. Hi, Andy. How you doing?
I'm well. Thank you for having Happy New Year.
Good. Happy New Year. I know.
Thank you for having me on.
This is this the first show? No. Yeah, is this the first show? It is the first show of the year. Oh my gosh. It just seems like last year we were here. A week ago. Anyway, so welcome to the show, Andy. And, it was great running into you over at the event that we had over at Gene Woods the other day.
Well, yes. Well, I was there briefly, but just enough.
Briefly.
Just enough to run into things.
Just enough,
just enough. Yeah,
I know.
I had all sorts of things going on. I had to run off to an event at the Venetian, and then at the not Monte Carlo, Cosmopolitan. I was all over the place. So it was one of those rare times when I felt unnecessarily popular.
Unnecessarily popular.
Yes, it was lots of fun right there.
Oh, okay. I guess I've got a volume control here, right? I keep forgetting that. So anyway, how was everybody's New Year? How was yours, John?
Perfect.
Yeah, you're good to be back here and starting out the brand new year, 2016, here at VANR, Vegas All Net Radio. And Lawrence, how about you? What does that mean?
So-so.
Well, you're here.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's a good thing.
With you, 2 thumbs up.
You survived the new year in Las Vegas. That's all that really matters, is if you survive.
So, Andy, what was the holidays like for you? I mean,
it's-
bringing out the old and bringing in the new.
The holidays were fine. This year was relatively uneventful for me, which is the way I like it. I don't really care much about New Year's, especially in Las Vegas. I don't normally do anything on the Strip. I'm one of the rare entertainers who will specifically turn down work on New Year's Eve in Las Vegas, specifically because it's not worth going.
Well, you get stuck down there until
Well,
5 o'clock in the morning.
yeah,
I mean, if you do a show and you're done at midnight or 1,
But you're there till
you're
5
down
in the
there
morning.
till 5 in the
Yeah.
morning. So, that's no fun.
It's funny, they always offer more money because it's New Year's, but they forget that you have to be there by 4 o'clock for anything that
I know.
starts. And usually, we only need you here from 10 to midnight. Well, that's great. I'm going to be there from 4 in the afternoon till
12-hour
5 in
day.
the morning. Yeah.
Right.
But this particular time, I ended up working at the Venetian, hosting one of their VIP events. And the beautiful thing of it was I got to park at the Palazzo so I could have easy access to local streets to get out. And I was done by 8:15. So I said, well.
You were? Oh, my. Oh,
I
so
will
you
take
got
that.
out of there before they blocked it off then, right?
Oh, yeah, I didn't even have to.
You didn't
All I
have
had
to
to do
worry
was just
about it?
shut down Paradise, and it was brilliant. I was like, wow, I was home by 9. I was visiting friends on New Year's, and I didn't have to worry about any of the
And
nonsense.
posting and
So-
Facebooking and Twittering.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, okay, here we go. Yes, welcome. Look at me celebrating.
I know.
But it was fun. It was actually fun. I enjoy it.
I was down at the other end. I was in at the Golden Nugget.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
A friend of mine, Gina Farr, who is a host over there, invited me to come out with Victoria Colon, who's a friend of mine from California.
Very nice.
And but then Victoria had to. Her husband came in, and guess where he was staying?
Oh, probably someplace
At
inaccessible.
the other end.
Yeah, the whole other end of the world.
He was at the South Point, and I said, well, you're going to have to go on the freeway and go around all of that other stuff. But instead, what she did is she called and got him a limo.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Let somebody else take care of all that.
It was very smart. So what do you have planned for this year, Andy?
A whole lot of things. The end of this month, well, I've got quite a few things coming up. On the 16th of this month, I'll be in Pahrump, Nevada at the Pahrump Valley Library.
Pahrump, over the hump to Pahrump?
Over the Pahrump to, yeah. or go to Pahrump to Hump, I guess is how some people think of that. But I'll be going there specifically, not to Hump, but to, I've got a lecture and a book signing for my first book.
Great.
The King of Casinos, Willie Martello and the El Rey Club. So I'll be out there for that. And then quite a few corporate events between now and the end of the month. And at the end of the month, I go back out on the road with The Price is Right Live. I'm the announcer for The Price is Right Live. I'm the guy who says, "Come on down." And,
I
do
know.
all
I
that
understand
stuff.
we have an ad for that, don't we, Lawrence?
No way.
Something?
What?
I think we
Oh, my
do.
goodness.
I think we do.
We've prepared
Wait,
something?
Yeah, he's going to pull it up
Oh,
in
for
just
the
a
love of
minute.
God.
Yeah. And then I've got this other book in front of me called Pretty Words, Nothing More, an unlikely book of poetry by Andy Martello.
Yes, that's the latest book that's out. I'm trying to get another book released, an ebook of either one of the 2 books I have out or a new book out before the end of the month, because it seems like January is the month I release books. But
Okay.
that was the one that came out last year. And it wasn't really supposed to be. I still don't believe it to be a book of poetry. But my editor, who is a poet herself and edits about 100 books of poetry a year, she almost held me at gunpoint and told me I had to put this out and insisted that it was
Now,
groundbreaking poetry.
Each one of these is a poem?
Yeah, they're all individual.
Little
They're
section?
very short form. Some of them, there's only a couple that are more than a few lines long. Most of them are just very short, succinct, to the point poems about trying and failing to gain the affections of a young lady, or reflections of young ladies that I did get, and well, that was a mistake. So terrible mistake.
So now, are you good at reading your own poetry?
Yes and no.
Because I have a girlfriend who's a poet.
Okay.
And Cecilia Wallach, and she's got 3
sure.
books published, not self-published, but actually published by
Right,
another
right.
company. And so she travels to Paris, and she teaches out at Idlewild and USC and
Sure.
So, but she
absolutely.
actually gives poetry readings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've never. I haven't done that with this book.
Would you like to today?
Well, I'll read some, sure, but bear in mind, as I said, some of them are only a sentence long, so it's really not so much a poetry
I
reading
want one
as
that's
it
a
is.
little bit longer, and I want to hear some emotion.
Oh goodness,
and,
yeah. See,
and hear your
but see,
emphasis.
I'm the worst person to read my own poetry because
You
I
are?
make fun of it more than I do anything else.
You do?
Because well, that's why part of it is called an unlikely book of poetry. I am the last person on earth.
Well, should I read it?
Oh, sure, why not? Yeah.
Okay, well, let me see if I can
Yeah, fine,
do it
fine.
justice.
Well, I'm sure you can.
I mean, I just opened the page.
Just randomly
to number
grab
9.
one
Yeah,
and-
I did. Number 9, and here it is. There's no titles to these.
There are no titles. No,
No
they're
titles,
They're
just-
just. And I'll give you. There's some more. I'll give you some background story to it after you've given me
Okay.
the Sandy Kastel touch.
Well, let's see what this sounds like. He gave nothing away. He'd not allow her familiar embrace to cause alarm. It was a standard greeting, after all. He remained calm in front of prying eyes. He'd toiled for pay and perform his tasks well. Outward appearances presented an average day. By design, it was a subtle gesture, a tiny caress signaling she was near. The slightest graze of her fingertips across his back brought forth the widest of his smiles. With her single, gentle touch, he was elated. His pure joy was evident to all. He couldn't recall the last time he felt so exposed. He hid nothing.
Groovy, man. Groovy.
So, anyway, that was cool.
Oh, yeah. Thank
So
you.
that sounds like a little excerpt from a book, actually. You know, like
well,
from-
technically it is from
mean-
Pretty Words, Nothing More by Andy Martello. Available on Amazon.
No, but you know how when you get to the end and you just read, you know, like a Dan Brown book or something, you know, or
Yeah,
a James Patterson book.
Actually, yeah, it
and
sounds
then,
like somebody. Yeah,
Then the last few pages they go, and here's an excerpt from the new
we
book,
should
you
do a
know,
commercial
and it
like
gives
that,
you a
yeah.
little bit, and it leads you in, and then
good.
it leaves you as a cliffhanger, you know,
I'm
just hanging there. Yeah.
Congratulations, you found maybe the one poem that's got more than four
I know.
lines in it. Yeah.
I noticed.
I'm
All the rest are like two-liners,
Most,
you know?
most were very short and succinct. Just genuine. You know, the original name of the book was going to be "Don't Call It Poetry, Damn It," because I don't view myself as a poet. I really,
Yeah.
I've always looked at myself more of a comedian who happens to have deep thoughts upon occasion. You know, more of that Oscar Wilde kind of snarky attitude. And
Well, he built a career on that, you know.
yeah, absolutely. And I would love to be able to do that.
And he was
myself.
very unusual, you know,
Yeah,
creative, kind of
sure, why
unusual.
not?
Kind of, they did stories about his life.
Oh,
you know, I mean,
sure.
he was-
Yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah, one
But
day.
this came about. The story, as the story goes, it wasn't even meant to be a book. It was I was just venting feelings and thoughts on my Facebook page, okay, my entertainment page, which is Andy Martello Entertainment on Facebook, and I would always couple what I wrote with an image I found online to kind of give it almost like a meme quality, something
Right.
that just so I would have content and just so I could get these thoughts out of my head.
Right.
And before too long, I was getting just tons and tons of likes and comments from. I am not at all ashamed to say this, from very well-read, intelligent, bookish babes. And they started sharing them around the internet, and I kept getting emails saying, when are you going to put out this book of poetry? And I would always respond,
Wow.
I'm like, I don't have any poetry. What are you talking about? And so they would comment on these things. And this book came about primarily, it's a very small book, very inexpensive book. And it kind of came out to help raise money for the fancier version of this book that I'm planning on putting out, where because I can't release the version of the book with the images that I stole from the
Because they're
internet.
copywritten by
Right.
somebody else.
So one day, whenever I have the money to do it, because it's going to take a little while, but I have about 25 ungodly talented artists from around the country who have all essentially volunteered their work. I sent them all
Wow.
copies of I sent them the Facebook page or sent them copies of this and said, just look at it. If anything, here are the only rules. If you like it and something inspires you, make something. It doesn't have to match the image that I originally had online. It just has to, whatever it inspires in you, or somehow match the tone of the words in there. And
Did you hear what he said? Make something. Like, just tell an artist, just make something.
Well, yeah, yes, but if you're an artist and
if
I
they're
give you
inspired.
I give you a blank canvas with which to
You
work.
do,
Yeah.
yes.
And
But that's actually a great way of having something
sure.
create something that's special. And
I haven't
personalized
had
to
anyone
you.
turn me down yet, and I've
Wow.
got some of the most. I'll have to show you on my phone.
Yeah.
It'll be useless on radio, but I'll show you on the phone that I have
Some
some
of
absolutely breathtaking artwork. That if I ever get it out into the world,
You will.
Amazing photographs, amazing hand done artwork. It's going to be basically an artist commune, in a book. And the only other real requirement I had is if you do anything with a physical depiction of a woman in your artwork, she has to have red hair. Because this book is technically
about a redhead?
It's technically about 6 different redheads.
6 different
it's
redheads.
it's primarily about one in particular.
Is that why you agreed to come on the show?
Yeah. That's right, Sandy.
But we're not saying any names here.
That's right. That's right. But no, it's particular. It's probably 80% about one redhead
Particular
in
one,
particular,
yeah.
and then in the writing of that, it reminded me of similar things about other redheads in my life.
So now all of the redheads that have been in your life are going to sit here and wonder which lines are about them.
It is,
or
quite,
maybe they'll know.
It is quite funny how you put out a book of poetry and everyone knows that it's about at least one woman. How many women afterwards that because I've been single for the last 4 years or so, and how many people
Yeah.
I've gone out with who for the sake of sounding eloquent and deft about this, at most interesting moments to bring it up, they ask, have you written any poems about me? Am I in your book? Is this one about me? And I'm like, can we
when's your next book coming out?
Yeah. Can we at least finish what we're doing now before I put pen to paper? Is that all right? Do you mind if I just get this one little thought out of my system right now? And,
So to speak.
But yeah, exactly. And I've had others who have come up and they're like, that one's about me, isn't it? And I always laugh. I'm like, I'll tell you my life quite literally is an open book.
I was going to say,
my
it is an open
friends
book.
and family, they all know better than, the rule I have lived by is don't ask me a question if you don't really want to know the
Are
answer.
you a Sagittarius?
Not at all.
No.
I'm
That seems to be a trait about
I'm a
Sagittarians.
Gemini,
I know.
but it's just-
that's the opposite.
I
so it
just
really
learned
is,
a
yeah.
long time ago that my close friends, at least the majority of the real people in my life, because I'm an entertainer just like you, so there are a
Right.
lot of unreal people that are your
Right.
friends. Of the real people in my life, they would prefer I give them honesty than anything else. As an example, even though, and everyone says, well, that's why you're not married anymore. I'm like, no, she actually appreciated this answer. My wife always knew better than to ask me a silly question like, does this outfit make me look fat?
And now, is she a
Because-
redhead?
She
She
was-
is
I don't know if
what-
she is presently, but
But she
she
was
was
at one some
for
point.
the majority of the time we were married. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but she always knew better than to ask me a question like, "Does this dress
A
make me
leading
look fat?"
question.
Exactly.
She knew better.
Because she did want the answer, and one day she did actually say, "Do I look fat in this dress?" And I said, "Well, right now you look fat out of that dress. Why not wear something? How about this? This looks better on you in general." And she
He's
appreciated. the
blushing. You
honesty.
see this?
Yeah.
Are you catching
Well, yeah,
this,
'cause
John?
it's
He's
such a-
blushing
it's
just
such a-
thinking about this.
Like I said, she appreciated the honesty, and I gave it to her. So,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things when people hear it, they're like, "Oh my God, that's so cruel. No wonder you're divorced." I'm like, "No, believe me, that is not why we're divorced."
It's called honesty. And sometimes, you have to find a way to be diplomatically honest.
Well, yes, I am just as good at being politically correct, diplomatic. I'm a very eloquent
Well,
human
there's a
being.
time and a place
Yeah.
for
But yeah,
everything.
she didn't mind the actual honesty. She said, "Oh
Yeah.
my God, you're right. I do look pretty bad right now." But I bet. And I'm like, "But you look great in that outfit. Why
Well,
don't
she
you wear that?"
obviously, at that point, felt comfortable enough to ask you
Yeah.
and want the
Well,
answer. Yeah, and
well,
felt, that it was...
We have all been. By the way, you look lovely.
Thank you.
But we have all been in the position
but do I
where
look
we're.
fat in this dress?
Well,
Don't answer it.
and
No.
stand up, do a twirl for me, kid. But
That's
we've-
why I'm wearing black,
We've
actually.
all been in that position where we're out in public and we watch somebody walk by, male or female, and go, do
They
they have
not look in the
any
mirror?
friends? There's no mirror that works. I mean, somebody must have told that woman, your toes are hanging off your shoes into the ground.
But
You're-
then
you're,
again,
anything.
there's what do they say? There's somebody for everybody, and
Oh,
in
sure.
the eyes of the beholder, and all that stuff.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
everybody
Well,
likes different
yeah,
tastes
yeah.
and stuff. Andrew,
Flavor for every ice cream cone.
a flavor for every ice cream cone, especially if she has red hair.
That's-
Anyway,
well, yeah.
so-
I will admit, if I have at least one Achilles tendon, it's a a redheaded
It's
woman.
redheaded.
Absolutely.
Because they're fiery.
Yeah, that's part of it, I'm sure.
Part of it.
Yeah.
Andy, we've got a beautiful singer on the line.
A beautiful singer.
A
Hello, beautiful singer.
and she's actually, I think her hair is kind of blondish reddish too, a strawberry
Oh,
blonde,
my
isn't
God.
it? Leah, welcome, Leah Longo.
Hey guys, how are ya?
Good. How are you? How you been?
I'm good. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can. Yes. Say hello to Andy Martello.
Hello, Andy.
Why, hello, Leah. How are you today?
I'm great.
Happy
how
New
are
Year
you?
to you. I'm well. I'm fine. I'm out of the rain and out of the awful traffic.
Yeah,
That's great.
can you believe it? It's raining here, and last couple days have been kind of dark and gloomy. We're so spoiled here in Las Vegas, and I was just saying this to somebody else the other day. We're so lucky because most of the year, even when it's cold, and we have sunshine. And the last couple of days, it's been kind of gloomy, and we don't know how to handle it. We're like out of our element.
Yeah, people who live in Las Vegas, nobody's born here. I mean, there's like 18 people that were actually born in Las Vegas.
Yeah, my sister was born here.
Yeah, and of those 18, none of them know how to drive in the rain because they just don't care. They just
Oh,
never
they
leave.
don't in LA either, though.
But it's the people who move here, like myself and other people, that all came from rain-bearing countries. They're the ones that upset me the most because they forget everything. I mean, they forget absolutely everything about how to drive. They're still trying to go 85 miles an hour on the 15.
That's right.
And tap their brakes, and they're skidding out into buses and things like that. It's like, oh God, it's so frustrating.
Well, it can't be as bad as here. It's minus 20 in Montreal. So I
See, we can't complain, can we?
No, be grateful.
That's right. That's right.
I'll
Well,
keep going.
it's been a while since you've been on the show, and I know you had your new album out last year, "The Songs of a Siren," and I understand that you've been doing very well with that.
Yep, it's doing very well, and really excited about my new music that's coming up too.
Yes, and tell us a little bit about that.
Songs of a Siren. Was more of a mixture of genres of music,
That's right.
jazz and the chants. As you probably recall, Sandy, I was I'm a yoga instructor and what have
Yes.
you, and so I wanted to branch back into my musical roots of jazz, and so now I'm doing more jazz music and standards.
And so what your new album is? Do I have songs from that right here?
Oh yeah, I said that's
These
right.
are these are the songs we have, and but there's.
standards.
I see you've got "Sunday Kind of Love," which is a standard.
Yep, and there's this Latte, and there's a bunch of them. Beautiful, a lot of songs. Summertime, a great popular one as well.
The song is you. I recognize some of these. So why
Yep.
why did you lean more towards jazz? Tell me about that.
Well, I wanted to get back into my musical roots of singing jazz, and also I wanted to pay tribute to all the greatest female vocalists, and thought of what a better way to get into doing a tribute show, and then offering it, also the CD that comes with it with all the standards that pay tribute to all the greatest singers, is Nina Simone and Shirley Horn and Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, and also unfortunately Natalie Cole, who's just recently left us as well.
I know.
That medley from her, yeah. So she, on the 31st, I believe, just before New Year's, she left us. And
I know. I
so
can't
as well.
believe that. Yeah. And she was how old was she? She wasn't very old.
She was 65.
no, she's 65.
65, just
quite
a-
young.
I
actually,
know. I know. So it's scary, We never know. That's why we have to enjoy all of our lives, right?
That's right. We got to live life to the fullest and do what makes us happy and brings passion to our life. And that's kind of like my motto. And I love singing those standards and the jazz songs. And so, I'm pretty much I like to do different styles. I'm always chanting. I always continue doing my chanting because that's more my spiritual practice in Montreal here. But I always enjoyed also singing these standards. So yeah, I figured let me get back into singing the songs and do a show that surrounds all of this beautiful music and melody. So the show is called Tribute to the Divas, and we just just working on it right now.
Okay. So what song would you like for us to hear right now?
You put anyone. You could put Summertime, Estate.
Okay, he doesn't have Summertime.
Well, let's request the one
Do we
that we don't
Summertime?
have.
We
Yeah.
have, I don't even know how you pronounce this one. Anya de Bieber?
Aqua de
Aqua.
Bear.
Oh, it's Aqua.
Sure.
That's a Q.
See, she's from Canada. It
Well,
could have
it's
been a
G.
tribute to
He said
Justin
He wrote
Bieber.
a
Yeah.
G instead of a Q. Okay,
that's true.
I
Yeah,
read it as a G. Sorry.
I just thought it was a tribute to Justin Bieber. You Canadians and your CanCon, you absolutely cannot stop just celebrating Canada.
Do they have one to Celine Dion too?
Oh, I'm sure there is. Yes, if there were a Mount Rushmore in Canada, there would
Okay,
be
so-
Wayne Gretzky and Celine Dion and probably William Shatner and I don't know, the Queen. Maybe I just don't know, some singer.
All right, so should we start with that one?
Or that's a beautiful bossa nova standard.
Okay, let's
Or-
do a beautiful bossa nova then.
Your love is rain, my heart the flower. I need your love, or I will die. My very life is in your power. Will I wither and fade or bloom to the sky? Água de beber. Água de beber, camarada. Água de beber. Água de beber, camarada. Ba-da-do-day, ba-da-da-da-do-day-do, ba-da-do-day, ba-ba-da-do-day-do, da-da-do-day, ba-do-day, ba-do-day, ba-da-do-day, ba-da-da-da-do-day-do, ba-da-do-day, ba-ba-da-do-day-do, ba-da-do-day, ba-do-day, ba-do-day. The rain can fall on distant deserts. The rain can fall upon the sea. The rain can fall upon the flower. Since the rain has to fall, let it fall on me. Água de beber. Água de beber, camarada. Água de beber. Água de beber, camarada. Ba-da-do-day, ba-da-da-da-do-day-do, ba-da-do-day, ba-ba-da-do-day-do, ba-da-do-day, ba-do-day, ba-do-day, ba-da-do-day, ba-da-da-da-do-day-do, ba-da-do-day, ba-ba-da-do-day-do, ba-da-do-day, ba-do-day, ba-do-day.
My dad would like that song, Leah. That
The
is,
first time-
huh?
Just came the first time you're the first station to play it. Thank you so much.
Oh
by
my
the way.
gosh, you're the first to hear this, everybody.
On her first show of the year, mind you.
That's
Yes,
right.
There's a lot of firsts going on.
That's right. That's right. So I love that song. That is great. I love the way you do it.
Thank you. I really enjoyed singing Jobim's songs. It's just refreshing and how it has that warm quality to it. You know, it just makes you want to go to the beach.
And so who produced this with you?
We produced this with basically myself and gentleman in Montreal, Perry Pantieri from P&P Jazz Records, and also our engineer, Jesse Tolbert from Montreal. We pretty much a group effort, and it's all Montreal people.
Wow.
And we're quite proud of it, actually. Great musicians as well on the album. And actually, to tell you the truth, we recorded about 9 songs in one day live off the floor, and what you're hearing is actually just live off the floor, no overdubs, no nothing, just straight like they used to do it in the 70s.
Wow. So were you in a booth, a sound booth though yourself? Yes, yeah, a vocal booth. That's
Yeah, we were all separated, and it's just right the way the way they used to do it, and we wanted to grasp that organic sound and feel, and I think we captured that.
and catch it so that you're doing it right with the band too.
Right with the band.
Because as we know, sometimes you're going back in and maybe doing the vocal and then singing, a million times to it. This way you've got it. You've got the feel of the entire song right there.
Yeah, the whole purpose was to really grasp a little bit of the live element, so to help also to for the tribute, for the Diva show. So we wanted to make sure it was as organic as possible.
Now, the Diva show, are you going to be taking that? Are you going to be bringing that down here anywhere?
That's the goal. It started in Montreal, and then Toronto, and then the goal a couple of venues in the United States, which is really the goal. So, for sure, that's the whole. We're going to start working on a marketing plan,
and you've had a lot of your songs placed in movies and television shows too.
Yeah. I have quite a few placements that when I did the pop rock record, it's already a decade ago, but I used to sing pop rock. A lot of those songs from that album, which finally it's called Miserably Happy, like about 6 of those songs on that album were placed in movies like Cheaper by the Dozen, and there's also Dawson's Creek, which one of my songs was featured. Party of Five, Summerland. A lot of American TV shows had picked up those songs from my album. I was quite fortunate at the time. I had a lot of placements with that album, so I'd like to, hopefully play some of the jazzier stuff too as well. So we'll be doing some of that, some pitching as well to the music supervisors again, and see if there's a need for it. And just keep going.
So Leah, if you were talking with a new artist starting out in the industry, what would be the key thing that you would tell them to do?
Well, if they want to build, if they want to make this a career, they need to get out there and sing and play and really build a fan base and just really hone their instrument and in these days, it's really about building your fan base and being out there as a musician and artist. And if you're good and you're passionate about it and you exchange that energy, people will come. And that's where it starts. Like any business, you build fans, and any business, you build clients. So it really is to hone your craft and get out there and sing. And that's basically it. If you're good, then you'll get attention from media and industry and what have you, and so that's the best advice I can offer.
Are you playing the piano? Is that?
I think she's getting an email.
Is that an email? Is that what that is?
Like, or perhaps a Facebook notification on
ding,
Messenger.
Ding,
yeah, that sounds
ding,
like.
Ding. So where can people?
She's playing trivia crap right now, and
while she's talking,
doesn't want to know that we're on to her.
So Eddie's a comedian, and he also has a book of poetry. And should we let him read one of his little poems here for us?
Sure, why not?
Sure.
In fact, I know that when he heard the title of your Miserably Happy, his eyes lit up. I think he was thinking of a poem to write.
Absolutely, yeah. Miserably Happy I wish I'd thought of that.
It's a great title.
That's a great title, absolutely.
Isn't that a great oxymoron? Like we're never really completely happy. We're just almost there. And so that album, it was basically what I was feeling at the time. I wrote most of the music when I was living in LA. And, it was a quite challenging time of my life. So I think although I was really happy, I was also, it was very challenging, which, the miserable part comes in.
I love it.
Well, there's really, with respect to a handful of people, like let's say Jim Henson and maybe Mr. Rogers, there's absolutely no good art that has ever been created from somebody being happy. Absolutely not. I mean, yes, there are some songs that kind of follow on that. If you want to be happy and don't worry, be happy, and because I'm happy. happy. Sure, you can make money with it, but it's all crap. We're
mostly miserably happy.
Yeah, the only good art comes, for God's sake, the greatest painter of all time still had to cut his ear off, for God's sake. It's not, if he were happy, we'd never have gotten, any of that work. That's how it is. So.
Well, you know what? I was playing this afternoon on the piano, and I don't know where, but I'm listening to this melody that I'm playing, and I'm going, and of course it's in a minor key, and I'm sitting, I don't know where it comes from, but I'm thinking, it's so funny because mostly I'm out there, I'm bubbly, happy, uplifting, all this. But then sometimes, like when I'm sitting down at the piano, I'm writing things and I'm going, where's this coming from? Yeah,
Well, there's just no.
But it just comes out, and it's okay. It's all good.
It's fine to be happy, but it's you're never going to get. I read somewhere that the most creative people are the folks who get the least amount of sleep and are genuinely the least happy. that holds true most of the time.
Well, they say a lot of songs, a lot of songs come out of heartbreak.
Well, sure.
Heartbreak.
Yeah. Because the only time you care about something is when you can't have it.
That's right.
No, nobody cares about when you can have it. Unless if it's like a steak or an ice cream cone or something. Oh, I love this ice cream. Well, that goes away. And then you're so depressed. I wish I had more steak and ice cream.
Yeah.
And then that's where the good stuff comes from.
Steak and ice cream.
Well, not maybe in
Together.
that order or not together. I'm asking for filet mignon a la mode. I'm not asking for that, but I'm just saying there's
Okay, so back to the book.
Here's a few of these shorter ones here that usually resonate pretty well with a lot of people. One I understand is being worked into a song by a very talented songwriter friend of mine named Bud Buckley out of Florida. But here's one quick one-liner. And bear with me if actually I need to take my glasses off to actually read the book now. Isn't that ridiculous? If it meant waiting until his dying breath, he would be the last man to kiss her well. Ooh. Yeah, deep, man. This is a line that ended up maybe being turned into a complete song. I'm like, well, great. There's only like 8 words in it, so I hope you can make the entire song out of it. He learned being the right man was not enough. Oh yeah, that's a terrible thing that woman said to him. Where's another good one? Oh, in the blink of an eye, it was a memory shared by two and important to one.
Ooh.
And one of my personal
memory
favorites.
Shared by two, but important to one.
That's right. We were the only two who knew, but apparently it only mattered to me. What a bitch. Anyway, he missed feeling something good about someone special.
Oh.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that sweet?
What do you think, Leah? Should we keep him?
Sure. Why not?
Oh, it is
seems
so.
not.
I can't even tell you how many female friends of mine started talking to me nicer after they read this book. They're like, "Oh my God, Andy, I didn't know you had a heart." I'm like, "Well, of course I do."
So there should be a line, something like, I don't know.
They
knew him not.
Oh, there are some very happy poems in there too. There are some good moments in there, but they're immediately followed by soul-crushing red-headed pain. But it all leads, though. There will eventually be a second book of poetry called The Broken Mirror, which I call my tribute to self-loathing and eventual acceptance.
The Broken Mirror.
Yeah,
Ooh,
and that
like
one has got some pretty good stuff in it. It's the way I look at it, it just because, especially as an entertainer, most entertainers, and they'll never admit this, but most entertainers spend the majority of their time hating themselves. We're never good enough. We're never entertaining enough. We're never successful enough. We're never good looking enough. We're all these. It's because we live in a zero return business, unless if you happen to be the hottest thing in the moment at the time. That's just so we go home. We're out in public all the time, being very happy, and then we go home. We're like, God, that was terrible. We'll watch videos of ourselves after just killing it on some television show and going, was I wearing? Oh my God, I was wearing that. Wait a minute. Oh, I could have told that joke better. Well,
listen, we're in good company because Barbra Streisand, when she was recording her, her albums, she would record something like, this is way before they had Pro Tools, okay, where you could just cut and paste very easily. They literally cut and pasted on tape, 2 1/4 inch tape, right? When they had to cut and paste. Well, she would do something like 62 tracks. And then they'd go through and cut this word and that word and this word and that word, because she was such a she still is, such a perfectionist. And I think that's part of being an artist, that we are perfectionists. But I learned something a long time ago at this class, and Because sometimes the reason people fail is because of not only a failure, a belief that they're going to fail, it's a belief that they might succeed, and then they've got all that pressure of continuing to succeed, But
I have no fear of ever succeeding. I have no belief it'll ever happen.
But one thing that they said was something like, when we have something inside of our mind, our vision, whether we're a singer, a songwriter, a film producer, a comedian, whatever, we have it in our mind, and it's perfect inside our brain, inside of our mind.
Sure.
But it's never, ever, 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 ever going to be exactly what it is inside of ourselves. So we have to, at some point, we have to accept where it's at and realize that it's perfectly imperfect.
Well, yeah, you just
right.
A very good friend of mine a long, long time ago.
Because otherwise you'd never get anything out.
Yeah. Oh, well, I remember I was doing a great show, and I thought I really did. I knocked it out of the park, and I was on the bill with so many what I call infinitely more talented human beings. I'm like, why on earth am I on this bill? And I get backstage, and I said this to my good friend who you would be embarrassed if I mentioned him, so I won't. And I told him exactly, well, why am I on this bill? And he said, well, look at the rest of the bill. You're obviously in that caliber of talent.
Right.
And I said, yeah, but I did a really good set out there and I still feel horrible. He said, does the check clear? And I said, as a matter of fact, it does. He said that it was the best show ever. You know what? Yeah, sometimes.
And the other thing is there's gorgeous, beautiful models out there that are still looking in the mirror and saying, I'm not beautiful enough.
Well,
so it's a matter of, we are self-critical of ourselves. Yeah. Listen, Leah, I want to. There's a song here I was thinking might be good. Would you like for us to play "Feeling Good" and I Put a Spell on You?
Sure. Yes.
Kind of going along with the theme here.
But only if it's
Simone tribute, please do. Yeah, that would
is
be
it
great.
Feeling Miserably Good? Because that would be really nice. I like that.
I'm feeling good. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, "Feeling Good" and I Put a Spell on You by Leah Long. Go.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Yeah, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Ooh, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. A river running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Yeah, yeah. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when the day is done, that's what I mean. And this whole world is a new world, is a bold world for me, yeah. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know what I feel. Your freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. put a spell on you. 'Cause you're mine. You better stop the things you do. I ain't lying. No, I ain't lying. You know I can't stand it. You're running around. You know better, Daddy. Can't stand it when you put me down. I put a spell on you. 'Cause you're mine, yeah.
And that was Leah Longo. What? How cool. Man,
Yeah.
what a voice. What a powerful, powerful, powerful voice you have.
Yeah, you should consider doing this professionally. Might have a career in that.
I'm doing it, yeah.
Doing it. She says, I'm doing it. So do you have any tours set up yet for this year, or are you still working on that?
Well, that's right. We're working on it right now. I mean,
Okay.
right now we're looking at Montreal and maybe do the casino here, and we're trying to hit casinos all over and different performing arts centers and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So it is really brand new. I mean, I got to tell you, it's like 2 weeks. We just got out of the studio and just
That's
when
right.
I got the call today, I said, to come on. I said, yeah, why not? I mean, it's quite early in the stages, but hey, jump start, why not? It's a good thing. So,
Well, Tom Mazette is a great guy, and and he's been out there helping you promote your music. And I thank him a lot for inviting, for letting me know again that you had this, just ready. And because obviously we had you on last year, and your website again is lealongo.com, lealongo.com.
Yep, and lealongo.com, exactly.
Right,
And Facebook as well, Leah Longo on Facebook as well. I do a lot of Facebooking as well, and that's I like to keep in contact with fans and friends through that social media as well. I think it's important.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming on again today, Leah. It's good to talk with you, and Happy New Year. And let me know when you've got your tour. Make sure Tom sends me a schedule, okay? So we
You'll
can
definitely know I'm coming down to Vegas, that's for sure. We'll be hitting you up.
Yeah, we'd love to have you here, okay?
Thanks a lot, Sandy.
All right.
All the best.
All right. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay. So, Andy, I know you've,
Yes.
your other book is The King of Casinos.
Yes.
Okay,
King of
and
Casinos.
obviously
Willie-
you're doing very well with that book.
Yeah, I mean it's not on any bestsellers lists, as you can't expect them all to be gems. But
It's your bestseller,
It's
right?
yes, of the 2 books I have written, it is clearly the bestseller. But it is it's done really well. It had its 2-year anniversary yesterday, in fact, and in that 2 years, it's won 13 awards. It's sold very well on Amazon. I still get calls for lectures and for book signings, like I'll be doing in Pahrump on the
Right.
16th,
Right.
and at 10 a.m. by the way at the library if you want to go to that. And it's just it's inching ever closer to that elusive somebody's going to turn it into a movie. It's kind of still way too early. I can't even say I'm putting the cart before the horse because I have neither a cart or a horse, but it is in the early stages of people looking at it and going, maybe we can do something with this.
Yeah, and you're already working on your third book.
Oh yes, I've actually got 6 book projects in the works right now, which is terrible for me because I don't work on any one of them at length like I did with the first 2. I just now I'll pick one up and I'll put that down and I'll pick it up, and it's like I feel horrible. I feel like I'm cheating
like
on
you're cheating on
I'm
your
cheating on
books.
the one book. Yeah. Eventually,
Are they redheads?
one of them at least. One of them, yeah. But the one book that pertains most to people in Las Vegas that they would enjoy, there's a book that me and my good friend Wendy Van Vactor, a historian and writer here in town, we've been commissioned to write a book that details the history of the development of the Mount Charleston resort area.
Oh, wow.
And so we're constantly looking for people to do interviews with and who have photographs, who have all sorts of cool things. There's a Facebook group about it. I think it's called the Mount Charleston History Project. And eventually that will be a book that is tentatively titled 7,000 Feet Closer to Heaven, The Story of Mount Charleston.
Oh my gosh! So you welcome people to call you or contact
Absolutely.
you through Facebook or through your website?
Facebook or my website, andymartello.com. And because it's the same problem I had when I was working on The King of Casinos. People who were in Las Vegas during those 40s, 50s, and 60s, they love telling you stories about Las Vegas and the area until you actually ask them to.
Then they get nervous.
Yeah,
they
they're like,
get
"What?
Cold food.
Who's
Cold
asking?
feet.
Who the hell are you?" I'm like, Jesus, come on! You're the one who you wouldn't shut up about it when we were drinking at the bar.
Right.
How about we just have coffee and you tell me and I write this down? Wait, you're writing it down? No, that won't work. I'm like,
well, then I'm going to tell the story.
So
they might have to kill you.
Yeah, they're all dead. All right, okay. Everybody who's going to kill you,
And
they're
their relatives,
dead
and
now.
everything.
They let Steve Wynn have a casino again. That means they're all dead. So for the love of God, yes, we want stories, pictures.
Mount Charleston.
About
The
the Mount
history of
Charleston.
Mount
Yeah, the
Charleston.
history of the Mount Charleston Resort area.
Okay.
Specifically, I mean, it's going to be as complete a history as we can get from, let's say, 1915 on up. But the real focus is going to be when it really developed during
I
those
was
50s
there.
and 60s
I've
area.
been there.
Well, yeah, I've been there.
I've been
seen
there.
it.
I've been there a couple
I've
times.
seen
Would
it,
you like
yeah.
for me to, tell you
Sure.
my stories about
Sure.
when I went to Mount Charleston?
Absolutely.
When I was a little girl?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we want all those things.
I might have some pictures of my dog,
Yeah,
Jake.
it's all welcome because everyone will have some story about something that. Oh, well, here's the thing and I noticed it when I wrote my first book. I even joke about it in the first book. If you're going to go ahead and write, especially in Las Vegas, because once again, they shut up. Or they talk to you a lot, then they shut up when you want information. Then as soon as you put the book out, then they want to tell you what you got wrong.
Right, you missed.
And I'm
yeah.
like, well, you're tough.
Well, you were
That's tough,
supposed to
kid.
tell me.
Yeah, you could have told me. But, I'm sure when that book comes out, someone will say, why didn't you tell us about the ice rink? Or why didn't you tell us about the bristlecone pines? And I'm like, well, we're going to gather as much information as we can, and we're relying upon you to give us the color commentary.
Now, like that, how long do you anticipate that you're going to work on that? 4 years?
If it were up to it took 8 years for me to write my first book, and I think I can double that. It really depends. Part of it is my partner, she's on the road a lot with her job, and me, I'm frequently on the road. I was on the road close to 30 weeks last year with Price is Right Live.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to do. If the family paying for the book, they would love it to be out, 2 years ago. But it's just, unfortunately, it's just not that easy. So I'm hopeful in a perfect world we'll have a book this time next year.
Oh, good.
The good news is, and if anything, this would give inspiration for people to actually contribute. It's not being done as a book I'm not making money out of this outside from the fact they're paying me to write it.
Right.
But the book is going to be sold with the intent of raising money for the volunteer fire department up in Mount Charleston, which, as you know, they are always needing money and people are always setting fires up there. So we would love to have. Yeah. Well, why not? But I have lots of other projects in the works too. I've got there's a second book of poetry that eventually will come out as soon as I've decided that I like myself enough to put it out. That's called The Broken Mirror. I have one called Andy Martello's The Roommate Chronicles. That's going to detail some of the more disturbing things that have happened to me in the last 3 years get with roommates in this town.
This sounds like, all the things that we all talk about on Facebook, and putting them into a book, know. And somebody said something about, I actually saw where somebody said on Facebook, look, I'm a writer. I do this for a living.
Sure.
So I'm not going to sit here and do all this on Facebook. I'm writing.
Right.
This is my profession.
Well, you know what? I got great news for you. Nobody's going to read it if you don't put it on Facebook.
That's right.
They're just not. I mean,
Now-
they're just not. In fact, this poetry book, every single one of
That's
those
right.
poems is on Facebook.
Pretty
but they
words,
wouldn't buy the
nothing
book
more.
until they had to read it.
An unlikely book of poetry.
That's right.
By Andy Martello.
And the one I'm looking forward to putting out, which may come out this year if all things work, is called Andy Martello's Stupid Stories About Famous People.
Okay, here I go.
Oh.
What I said to you was said only once to only one. There you go.
There you go.
Specials
Listen
from
to that,
Andy
ladies.
Martello. And here we go. Well, gosh, it's just, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah,
Andy,
thank you for
what's your
having me.
website again?
AndyMartello.com.
AndyMartello.com.
Martello.
Yes, and send him your stories and your photos about Mount Charleston so he can finish writing that book. And,
Or start writing that
start
book.
Writing,
Yeah, one of the two.
Start writing it, start collecting, right. And you're here with Sandy Kastel and Friends variety show here on Vegas All Net Radio, and we will be back next Tuesday evening at 5 o'clock. Have a great week. We'll see you then. Bye.